Hello and welcome to another episode of Issues and Insights. I'm Bryce Shoemate, and as you all can tell, we're on location today. Not too many times do we get out of the studio to do a show for Issues and Insights, but you know, as beautiful as this place is, it's always great to be here, and it's great to be with you, my friend Matt Deneen.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, Bryce. You do such a good job.
Oh, thank you. Matt, we are so blessed to have you and the folks from Green Space that have not only developed Emerald Cathedral here, but all of the trails that we have all across this great city of Elizabethtown. And you know, we're a very blessed community.
We are. We truly are. And Green Space has just been such a blessing for our entire community, and I'm so proud to be a part of that program and that organization. You know, we're just so very, very close. After 47 years in existence, we're very close to surrounding our entire community with a green belt loop.
A true loop.
A true loop. And you know, Louisville has their trail system there, but very few communities in Kentucky have an entire green belt loop around their community, and it's almost 50 years in the making. But here we are,
and especially a community our size.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And you know, I think a lot of people, Matt, will think, well, this is something that the city of Elizabethtown has done, and these trails are for everybody in our community. It doesn't make any difference whether you live in the city of Elizabethtown like you and I do, or where you live.
That's right. And the city of Elizabethtown has played a tremendous role in partnering with Green Space, and we have been such good partners over the years. And you know, when we first got started with Green Space, of course there was some trepidation and what we were trying to do, and you go through that, and those trials and tribulations lead you to a better place. And in the recent years, you know, the city has been just a wonderful partner and has really embraced the vision of what Green Space started out doing. And that's just simply preserving some of these natural areas along our creeks and our streams and in our community parks. We know we wanted to provide these neighborhoods that are blossoming in our community and our residents with a place to go to relax out in nature. And here we are in this beautiful Emerald Cathedral that was envisioned by Mary Sprague back in the early 1970s. And, you know, it just started out as a Boy Scout and Girl Scout, you know, place to meet. And here we are with a community concert series, and things are going very, very well. So we're very proud.
And Mayor Gregory and you all as city council members have been so supportive.
Yes, Mayor Gregory has just been wonderful, and the entire city council has been just a wonderful group of people to work with. They're very supportive. We have a great Parks and Recreation Director in Seth Breitner, and of course our Public Works Division does a wonderful job in assisting us in our Stormwater Department. I mean, it is truly a collaborative effort. And of course we have lots and lots of community volunteers, and our community organizations like the Rotary Club and our healthcare providers and insurance providers, they have all contributed, and our financial institutions, they have all contributed to the success of Green Space. And you know, that's all contributed to bringing us to become Kentucky's first urban trail town.
And so I know part of our Green Space trail system over by Buffalo Lake is being worked on right now.
Yes.
Can you talk about any of that? Because people, I'm sure, are wanting to know, what's the time frame on that, and what are we doing?
Well, we have about 10 miles of mountain bike trails that have been recently created at Buffalo Lake. And the city has taken on the project to renovate and reestablish Buffalo Lake as a watershed. You know, with all the construction we've had over the years at I-65, all of that silt and sediment has just washed into Buffalo Lake, and it's kind of filled it up.
More so than anybody realized.
Right. And you know, when you have 40 yards of lily pads growing on right off the bank, you know, sunlight, when it hits the ground, you know, that's what causes lily pads to grow. So you could easily see that the lake wasn't holding a lot of water, and that is a watershed for our downtown area. So, you know, we're just very proud that Stormwater has taken on that project, and the city has gone in to dredge it and renovate it and restore it back to its original intent, to really salvage the Haycraft neighborhood down there from flooding. And our courthouse downtown, our whole historic downtown area, is affected by that.
Right.
And it goes all the way down the Pritchard Community Center, which is really a storm shelter for us, for our entire community.
And
So,
people don't realize how big of an area that storm shed or that watershed covers, you know.
yes, it's huge. It goes really all the way from Haycraft all the way down behind Pritchard Community Center and into Valley Creek. So that is a tremendous area that needed to be renovated for the safety of everybody, but it also is wonderful that we're trying to preserve that area and the green spaces that it provides for additional trails. You know, we've got a national mountain bike race coming in next month, and we just landed that thanks to the Green Space president and the Hardin County Trail Builders Association. They've really done a good job of working on that area for mountain bikers. You know, we have 60 to 70 to 100 mountain bikers every week that visit Buffalo Lake area to mountain bike out there.
And of course, we understand that the weather makes a difference on when that particular job will come to fruition.
You know, they're out there right now dredging and digging it out. And of course, with rain and water, you gotta be really prepared and ready to adjust your time frames. But we are moving quite at a steady pace, and I think we're set to finish on time. It all depends on the weather this fall and this winter, but I think the dredging right now is going very well. We have a nice access road cut in out there, and of course the public is invited, you know, they can always go out there and still ride the trails and see the progress.
Sure.
And so, yeah, we're excited about that. And I think there'll be some fishing opportunities and future canoeing opportunities out there. And
so will the city stock that lake then?
I believe so, yes. And going forward, I think we'll do the same thing we do here at Freeman Lake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we will restock that. So
I know when you and I were out there not too long ago, I was talking to folks out there, and they were talking about how much they stock it every year.
Oh yes, people don't realize how often we stock our fishing lakes and our areas and our reservoirs here in Elizabethtown, so that residents can go out there and enjoy some recreation. And so we do quite often, and Seth Breitner does a great job of organizing all that.
And I got tickled because
Kentucky Fish and Wildlife.
Sure.
Man, boy, they have a great program.
I got tickled because Ed Pope was there, our city manager, when you and I were talking about this, and he was actually talking about catching a trout near the area where the lakes are, or where the what we call the ponds, kind of.
That's right, the holding ponds up here on the north end of the lake.
Right.
Yeah, I've caught a trout out here before. It was amazing to me too. I said, oh my goodness.
Coming through the streams.
Sure, they stock it with a variety of fish. And we just saw a couple of gentlemen come by that were catfishing, so they were getting ready to start. And
so what a cool place that we have here that has been connected through green space trails, and a venue that you can have for concerts, for several things. And so let's talk about some of the things that we've had this summer, and then maybe talk about what there is to come.
Sure. We've started a community concert series here this summer. With COVID, it was kind of delayed after the building here, but we've gotten it up and running this summer. We've had two great concerts, 4 wonderful bands come in and entertain us. They've all been fundraisers for Green Space.
And I know the first one was not, the second one was bluegrass, I believe.
The second one was bluegrass. It was a night of bluegrass, and we had a great crowd then. And you know, those concerts were sponsored through UPS and a grant that was written and received through UPS, and so we were excited to receive that. And then we also received some additional support from some local contributions and donations here in town. And so, you know, our first concert was a little bit of a Southern rock concert, you know, with countywide and local artists Commonwealth, and they did a wonderful job, and I think the crowd really enjoyed that. And the bluegrass brought a different fan base to the Emerald Cathedral.
Oh yeah, we were here that night.
And, you know, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to offer different concerts here that would bring people that maybe traditionally wouldn't be on the trails. We wanted to introduce them to the venue, introduce them to this location, and hopefully they would feel comfortable enough to come out and maybe hike some additional trails along the Greenbelt.
And I thought it was cool, the first band that was there was actually a substitute band.
Yes, oh, what a wonderful band. They were amazing.
They were great.
Dixie Flyers,
They play at Lincoln Jamboree quite often.
They do.
And they come to our local bluegrass picking. I picked and sang with them, and they're wonderful people.
They are great guys. I mean, I was just so proud of them to fill in for us. We had a cancellation, and they stepped up, and
and
wow,
fabulous.
what a show.
They
What
were
a show.
great.
They
And so, I mean, you've got to have them back next year. I'm telling you, you've got to have them back. I know they were so good to substitute.
No, they're going to be a headliner.
Yeah, they need to be a headliner. They were great. I was sitting back there talking to Carl Swope, and I was like, these guys are great, you know.
Yeah.
And because I knew all of them, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what makes it
They're
even
all from
more.
around the surrounding counties and
Exactly.
local area.
Exactly.
And boy, they're just full of talent.
And we were laughing when we were sitting there. You know, there is a bluegrass community in Hardin County.
Oh, yes.
And LaRue and Grayson.
Brett County and Breckenridge County.
And all of them come together for different venues to pick, you know, together and so on. Vine Grove is going to have their bluegrass festival coming up. So
Don Wise does a wonderful job with that and helping with that. So, yeah, I think you know, it all leads us to what we're trying to do with Green Space here, and we're trying to introduce community members and visitors to Elizabethtown. We want to attract some tourism, and that's what this is about. It's ecotourism, and you know, it's about being Kentucky's first urban trail town, and we have a lot of publicity out and around the state, and we're being recognized for a lot of people that travel in, not only to mountain bike and hike, but to come here and enjoy a concert such as this. And that's what it's really driving us as fundraisers for Green Space, that allows us to maintain these trails and do what we do.
You know, I wonder if you could pan so that people can see on the hillside in front of us, and on either side there's benches that volunteers, folks from the jail, Big Josh helped send some folks out here.
Sure did.
What a cool place to have a concert. And like you said, coming off the pandemic, it was maybe a little sketchy this year, but I think as people start to hear about this place, it'll get to where we won't have any room for people to.
Well, you know, we have some wonderful additions coming to the amphitheater. We have, of course, right now it seats about 525 people. But we do have some wonderful additions coming in the months ahead. We're going to build pergolas at the top of the venue all the way around for VIP sitting for sponsors and for those folks that may want to rent a pergola with a picnic table while enjoying a concert.
And there's not a bad seat.
No, there's.
I mean, as you look up through here.
This was just really a natural setting for an amphitheater, and you know, Mary Sprague had a really clear vision of what this place could be. And back then it was just 12 benches on a hillside, and we've expanded that quite a bit with the help of UPS and others. And we still, we still have 3 of the original benches in here from the 1970s for nostalgic purposes, but they're still sturdy and they still work well. So
that's great, isn't it? I mean, it was refreshing to see all the people out here coming out of that pandemic, and of course now we've got a little bit of a scare with numbers going up, but I think we're seeing that people that have been vaccinated are able to get out and not to have as much of a scare. But
yeah, it's been a slow, you know, it started off with people coming out of the first wave of the pandemic, and you know, we had just a little over 200 people at our first concert, and we were excited about that. And then the numbers went up a little bit more for our second concert, and so now we're very close to selling out the third concert here. So our third concert, we have about 180 tickets left out of the 500, and those have all been sold online. So we'll have tickets available at the gate, but this last concert is really the finale. We call it the final show, but we saved the best for last, we think, and we've got 2 great bands coming in. Thanks to State Farm Insurance and our local State Farm agents, they have really come out and strongly supported this last concert and been our title sponsors for that. And one of our local factories, Altec, is also sponsoring this concert. So we're tickled to have both of those folks on board.
Now, just recently, within the last few weeks, you had the Heart of Kentucky Men's Chorus out here.
Yes, they did a fundraiser associated with the First Presbyterian's Creation Care Unit, and they go down into Central America to do some water projects there. And so this was, you know, they asked if they could maybe do their singing here. They normally do it at the church right behind us. And the church, Grace Heartland and First Presbyterian, have both been very gracious to allow us to use their parking lots during our concert series. And all they ask is, you know, that every now and then, if they would like to use the space for their church, that we, you know, and we're so glad to allow them to do so. So if they want to bring their youth group down here, in exchange for the use of those parking lots. We're glad to accommodate that and be partners with them.
And so, folks, if you all are coming to the next concert, and you may be worried about where you could park,
Right.
First Presbyterian and Grace Heartland Church here on Pear Orchard Road, right across.
Correct.
And very easy to find the Emerald Cathedral. Just as soon as you turn off a ring road onto Pear Orchard Road, you don't go very far on the right until you see the Presbyterian Church. And
That is right.
Emerald Cathedral is down in the wooded area behind the Presbyterian Church. Very easy to get to.
Very easy to get to, and we have, it's handicap accessible, and that's a wonderful thing that we really geared this place for ADA compliancy.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because we talked about that since my wife's got a broken leg right now.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We're going to have to wrap her in bubble wrap before she goes out anymore. But talk about how people can come in.
Sure. For many years I've been an advocate for ADA compliancy, especially in our park systems, and the Emerald Cathedral and what we're doing here is no different. The first part of the fundraising for this area was through UPS for this switchback trail that leads you up this hillside, and which you can kind of access if you're in a wheelchair or a scooter or a bicycle. But it does allow you to go all the way around the lake, and this was the only hang-up because of a steep hill here. And now that we've made it, accessible, we've kind of extended that to make sure that the entryway behind First Presbyterian Church is also handicap accessible. So you could drive a van or a wheelchair all the way almost down to the stage area, and you can unload and enjoy and come down and not have to go very far before you have seating for a wheelchair, or for someone that may just be on crutches, or maybe have a broken leg, or whatever the case may be. You can get down here. That's the wonderful thing. There's low seating. There's seating on the hillside. There's seating down here, so you don't have to take any steps to go up it.
And folks, it's got a good hard pack area
on
the gravel, so that you will be able to get a wheelchair in here very easily. And the bridges have low ramps.
That's right. So it's really built to accommodate everyone in our community, and that's what we've really been pushing for in green space and the city. The city of Elizabethtown, our council and mayor, and our parks department just installed a lakeside trail that's paved on the other side of the lake. And of course, it gets everybody off the road. So now you can push baby buggies, you can put wheelchairs, and we have the 2 bridges that are ADA compliant, and we have a 3rd bridge that's coming in recently here on the north end of the lake, which will complete the Bridges to Nature project.
So is that what they're working on right now? That we've seen the construction folks there on Ring Road coming into the woods area?
That is the final bridge in the Bridges to Nature project. We began, Green Space began the project several years ago with several grants and support. We used our Wild and Scenic Film Festival to raise that money, and the city has really come on board hard and really stepped up and has helped us tremendously. And so is a lot of local businesses and for that matter. But this final bridge is really all the city, and tourism. And E-Town Tourism has stepped up on all 3 of the bridges. So that will be the final bridge in that project, but we're very excited about that because that gives them more access to the park.
So what's the date on our final concert? I hate to say final.
It's not the final. It's the final in this series,
but
that's right.
This season, so to speak.
For this season. Well, it'll be Saturday, August 14th, and it'll be 6 to 9, and we've been blessed with good weather. So we are really hoping that good weather continues, and it will be Mudbone and the Thunder Bayou Band out of Nashville and New Orleans way, and this guy is just a wealth of talent. It's Americana, roots music, a little bit of blues, a little bit of jazz. They'll have some horns with him, and of course we have the opening band that's a local band. And we've tried to do that throughout the concert series, partner locals with regional acts. And Van Winkle and the Spirits, they're just wonderful. Jonathan Thomas and his group just do a wonderful job. He's a local teacher here at the Hardin County Schools out of Sonora. So we're blessed to have them.
So if people wanted to find out about tickets or about future concerts, what's the site that they could go to?
GreenSpaceKY.com is where you can find the Summer Concert Series tab. Click it, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you will find the 3rd and final show concert there listed. It'll give you a description of the bands, it'll give you links to some of their music, And you can also buy a ticket there for just $10. And if you don't want to go online and do it there, you can always just show up and buy one at the gate. But you better get here early. Gates open at 5 o'clock. And we also want to thank the Elizabethtown Lions Club. You know, they've done a wonderful job raising money for their organization by selling.
And they had some great food
yeah,
out here.
Barbecue and hamburgers and hot dogs. And, you know, that's a fundraiser for them.
So, folks, we'll put that website down at the bottom of the screen so that you all
GreenSpaceKY.com, yep.
so that you all can pick that up and go online and see what is coming up and what's going on, not only just here at Emerald Cathedral, but what's going on all throughout our green space trail system.
That's true. We have a Rails to Trails project going on. We have some Haycraft Trail being renovated right now, so in the Buffalo Lake Trail system. So we're just excited about all of the things that are going on in Elizabethtown. It's great to live here, I tell you.
It is,
it's
and
amazing.
we've got several new people that are moving to our community. So
Sure.
if somebody wanted to volunteer to help work on trails and to help with green space, how do they do that?
They can visit our Facebook page. They can check into us on Instagram or Twitter, but they can also just check out our website, greenspaceky.com, and there'll be an opportunity there to make donations or to ask questions or to look at maps of all of the trails, over 30 miles of trails here in Elizabethtown. So, and they can always visit our tourism bureau. They have wonderful maps out there, and they do a good job of promoting our trail system.
And the great thing is that the money that you raise here with this concert series goes back into
It all
green
stays
space.
local.
Yeah.
It all stays local, and we're just so
Absolutely.
blessed to have State Farm and Altic as our partners, and we're just really, really excited about this upcoming concert. This is a show you don't want to miss. You better get your tickets early.
And you know, the last one that we hear, because we're close enough over here where we live, we could actually hear it through the woods, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So very neat place to come here at Emerald Cathedral. And we look up and we see how it got its name, because through all these green leaves, it's
amazing.
cool out here this morning. It's going to get a little warmer this afternoon, but it's nice to be out here right now, and you can see the light filtering through the leaves, and
It's
it gives
always
that
cooler
emerald.
here in the Emerald Cathedral.
Absolutely.
Always cool.
What are I've always wanted to ask you this. Is there more than one creek that comes through right here, or
No,
is it
this
just
is
the way
the main,
it winds
this
around?
is the main creek. Of course, there is another creek on the north end of the lake, and there's another creek, the smaller creek further down the trail, that when we do get a lot of rain, it does filter in. And we have some areas off the Foxfire area that when it does get heavy rains, it does come into the lake area. But this is the main stream right here.
That feeds the lake?
Feeds the lake, And there's the one on the north end that also feeds. So when you have these two nice little creeks here that feeds it, it also keeps everything nice and cool down here.
It does. And so anybody that might have any information, again, go to Greenspace website.
Yeah, greenspaceky.com.
Or you can go on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. You can go there and look and see what's going on. And I bet you all have got some pictures posted from the past concerts.
We do. We do
had.
have some past pictures. And, you know, if you see people walking around in a green space shirt, they're all very friendly. Don't hesitate to ask them, hey, where's this trail, or where's that trail, or how can I get tickets? So.
And I want you all to know this is very safe. I know sometimes people worry about venues and the safety here. Elizabethtown Police Department was in and out.
And they have a mountain bike. We have a mountain bike group that comes out from the EPD. And just before you showed up today, as we were setting up, a couple new to Elizabethtown just moved here and just made that comment how safe they thought this area was. And
Absolutely.
they really enjoyed it. And they couldn't believe how close it was right here in the heart of the city. And so many people were on the trail today. So.
Anything coming up, Matt, that we need to let folks know, either about green space or in the city of Elizabethtown, because we've got a couple minutes left here.
Yeah, well, we have what's called a Pocket Parks grant that Seth Breitner just presented to the council at our last city council meeting, and that's very exciting for me and for our entire community, I think. It really puts some playgrounds and some smaller neighborhood parks all sprinkled throughout the community. So, you know, we try to get them to where you're within a mile and a half walking distance. And
much like you did down on Haycraft Street, right?
Exactly. And we want to take that concept and look at areas, you know, like maybe in the Nicholas Ridge area and some others throughout the community that could benefit from that.
Okay.
So we're excited. Things keep getting better and better.
And you know, that's what's great about the city of Elizabethtown.
That's right.
it keeps getting better and better. And
it does, and you're a big part of that, and so is HCEC-TV. So we're glad to have you all be a part of that and help promote all these great things.
And it's exciting to see the growth that's going on, not only in our community, but in the industrial community that we see here. We've got several new facilities coming in, and of course we always are wondering what's going to come into the big industrial site just south of town, and know that someday we're going to have a big site, which means Elizabethtown will grow even more.
Continue to grow, and we're just glad that green space and the outdoors are a part of that vision and that universal design, because it makes a tremendous difference.
Matt, Deneen, thank you
for
being
Bryce.
with us today.
And thanks to HCTV and all that you do.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us here on Hardin County Education and Community TV, where we keep you informed on what's going on in this big community that we call Hardin County and that we love so much. Stay tuned. Kids are getting ready to go back to school. You're going to start to see school buses out. You're going to see young people standing out waiting to catch those school buses. An exciting time, but we ask you to be careful as you drive through your neighborhoods on your way to work, and make sure you watch out for those young people. Stay tuned to Hardin County Education Community TV as we give you information on what's going on in the community, but more importantly, what's going on in your students' life in the Hardin County school system. I'm Bryce Shumate from Hardin County Government, Matt Deneen, Green Space, and one of our great city councilmen for here in Elizabethtown. We sure do hope that you all will stay tuned to us, and we'll keep you informed of all the events that we see going on in our community. Thanks, and have a great, almost fall.
That's right, we're right here.
We're right here on it.
Yep.
Take care, everybody.